Hello and welcome to another Bookish video. So this week has been really slow. I only managed to upload one video prior to this one. But in terms of my reading, I actually have finished 3 books and I'm really glad that that happens. So these are the books that I have finished. The first one is The Sound and the Fury by William Faulkner. This one was something that I read for Faulkner in August 2020, and it was a read along that was organized by Brian from Bookish, Alan from Big Heart Books and Classics, and also Una from the Codex Cantina. I thought that this book was really enjoyable. I was really um, having fun while I was reading this book. And there are tons of drama happening with this book. Basically, this is about a family who lives in the early 20th century in the southern states of America. It chronicles their slow, gradual decline as the family is kind of like slowly disintegrating. The members of these families are just, they are, I don't know, they're kind of like insufferable in a way. They are so self-centered. So yeah, it's a story about a dysfunctional family. I think everybody should read this. It's a really nice book with a really wonderful story. Another book that I finished this week was also a very good one, and I gave it 5 star over at Goodreads. And this one is Rohinton Mysteries: A Fine Balance. I read this book as part of the group read that was organized by Jyotsna. Now this book was released in the early 90s. This book is about 4 different characters who come from different socioeconomic backgrounds, and we see them as they come together and form relationships in Indira Gandhi's India, and we see how their relationships evolved with all of these crazy things, the tension, the violence, the political chaos that was happening around them at the time. And so this book was definitely a very fascinating read. The story was written very eloquently, and it is one of the books that I would say, like, positively say that it was a real page turner. I think at some points I was able to read 100 pages of this book in one sitting, and that was how lovely the reading experience was for this one. So definitely check this out. I really recommend it to everyone out there. If you have not read this book, this is a really wonderful book. So the third book that I finished was a buddy read that I had with Sutan, and this one was The Inheritance of Loss by Kiran Desai. Now I must say that I really enjoyed the discussion that I had with Sue over this book. We had a lot of fun talking about this book, and I think I gained a lot of insights. But as for the book itself, it wasn't fun. I did not enjoy this book at all, and I believe Sue kind of felt similarly about this book. For me, this book was just bad. It wasn't able to really achieve what it intended to do. Basically, this book is mainly about the lives of the characters who live in Kalimpong, near the areas of Mount Himalaya there. The time period of this book and the setting, this one was also set in around the time of Indira Gandhi's India, just like Rohinton Mysteries: A Fine Balance. And some portion of this book was it also takes place after the assassination of Indira Gandhi. So there is definitely a lot of violence, a lot of fighting, a lot of chaos happening in the background of this book also. And we see how the characters live their lives with all of that crazy stuff happening around them. And what I thought of this book is that it it explores a lot of really, really hefty ideas like immigration, identity, racism, colonization. But it's a fairly small book. It's only 300 pages long. I just didn't think that it was enough to cover all of those stories at a very appropriate depth. Those ideas and the characters and the story and the plot, they were all here, but it felt like they were all crammed inside here, and all of those things were covered like very superficially. I thought that it was really unsatisfying. So I wouldn't really recommend this one to everybody. But if you are interested in this book, you should check it out. I was just kind of disappointed, maybe slightly surprised, because this book was a Booker Prize winner. But it read like a first draft. And yeah, kind of disappointing. Anyway, moving on, there's actually a DNF this week. And this one was actually a buddy read that I had with Kim from K. Becker's books, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. We both kind of decided that we would stop reading this book as a buddy read because it just felt kind of slow. And there were so many new things happening. We actually reached up until chapter 30, but it just felt like nothing is still happening. So we kind of discontinued it as a buddy read. Now, Kim said that she's not going to continue further with this book, but I think I would kind of still read it, and but at a slightly slower pace. Since we DNF'd this book, we actually decided to do a different book altogether as buddy reads, and that book is Close Range by Annie Proulx. This is a collection of short stories, and this collection also contains Brokeback Mountain, which was actually one of the reasons why we were interested in reading this book. And we plan to read this book, three stories per week, and so I think it would take about 1 month. So we'll probably finish by the end of September. And so far, I thought that this book has been very lovely, and it contains all of those lovely writing by Annie Proulx. So I'm really happy with what I'm reading so far. I think I have a good feeling about this one. Now, for other books that I'm currently reading right now, we're just gonna go through it quickly. The first one is something that I really engaged in currently. It's Olga Tokarczuk's Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. Now, this book is really fun. It's very atmospheric, and I could certainly feel the coldness of the climate in this book, and I thought that's amazing. Next one is Kyung Suk Shin's I'll Be Right There. Now, this book is from South Korea. It was originally written in the Korean language, and it was translated into the English by Sora Kim Russell. Moving on, I am also starting this book, a historical fiction restoration by Rose Tremaine. Now, this book was, I think it was published in the late 80s, and it was shortlisted for the Booker Prize. So I have some expectation this book. And also, we are going to start a new group read soon, and this one is organized by Leo from A Little Book Life, and this group read is for A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara, and I'm really happy that I got this copy, and I got it like just 1 month ago, and this is a really beautiful hardcover with really beautiful end papers. Oh, scrumptious. Now, as for my book purchase, I've been going kind of slowly, so I just got this copy of one of the books that is in the Neapolitan Quartet, because I read Elena Ferrante's My Brilliant Friend. This book is actually Those Who Leave and Those Who Stay, and this is the third book in that series. Now I don't think I'm going to read this book as long as I do not have the second book, which is Story of a New Name. I'm just wondering if me buying this book is a smart decision or a stupid one. Well, anyway, those are the bookish stuff that is going on this past week, and I think the week has been okay. It has been nice, and I'm also going to have a 3-day weekend because Monday, 31st of August, over here in Malaysia, is a public holiday because it's the National Day of Malaysia, and so I am going to have a longer weekend, and I am hoping to, be able to read more books. Anyway, I'll see you again in another video. Take care and bye bye.